John, why did you call Todd a fat Santa, stupid idiot head today at school?
Because my mom told me to never lie.
Oh, John. Hey, Circle! Today I'd like to go back to something I touched on last week, which is concrete thinking. Now, when I say concrete thinking, I'm talking about literal understanding and fact consideration. As parents,
What about friends?
or friends of people with autism, we often forget that not only do they usually take things literally,
Why don't you go fly a kite?
but they also don't always figure things out that may seem like common sense to others. This is especially true of social circumstances. Let me give you a little background, just to set up an example.
Oh no, not a history lesson.
In her previous marriage, Bella adopted a son who's several years older than John. We'll name him Tony. Now, race isn't important to us, but you need to know for the story, we are white and, well, Tony's black.
Get to the point, Jack A.
So one day at dinner, about a year after the adoption, John, who was around 6 at the time, looks at his new brother and says, "I wish you weren't black."
I wish you weren't black.
Yep, that happened. The jaws hit the floor, forks hit the plates. I mean, everybody was stunned. What seemed like an eternity later, but was probably closer to 2 seconds, John said, "I wish you were blue. Blue's my favorite color." That's my boy. Now, as I said, Tony came into the picture when John was around 6 and was simply raised as one of the kids. The parents referred to him as their son, and the kids called him their brother. I mean, they were family. So, I told you that story to set up this next one. I know. Just bear with me. Fast forward about 10 years. Bella and I were having a discussion with John about how families are related, but not always by blood. Sometimes it's just by law. We decided to use Tony as an example. Wrong example! John erupted. He said, "You've been lying to me this whole time?" Now, honestly stunned, Bella asked, "What do you mean?" John said, "You told me this whole time that Tony is my brother, but he's not?" "Well, of course he's your brother. I adopted him, so that makes him your brother." "Well, did he come out of your belly?" "No. When you adopt someone, that means they came out of another mommy's belly. I never said he came out of my belly." "If he didn't come out of your belly, then he's not my brother. You've been lying to me my whole life." And on it went. Who'd have thought? The fact that Tony was adopted had never been a secret, but he was part of the family, so it wasn't something that was brought up on a daily basis either. And not to state the obvious, but, he doesn't exactly resemble anyone else in the family. This is what is meant by literal understanding and fact consideration. John knew Tony as his brother for most of his life. To John, a brother is another male that mommy gave birth to. The fact that he wasn't around for the first 6 years of John's life, the fact that he had a different last name, heck, the fact that he wasn't even the same race never changed John's thoughts of what a brother literally was in his mind. The way John sees the world is based upon his literal understanding of how it works. And this is absolutely true. I can give countless examples like the one I just gave to support that. He's not, however, stupid. He can and does draw intelligent conclusions after careful consideration. However, all of his conclusions are based upon literal understanding, and as a result, all of his conclusions are black or white. There is no gray area, no in-between, no abstract thinking. John goes to the doctor for an earache. As part of the exam, the doctor listens to John's heart. John asks the doctor, "Are you sure you're a real doctor? An earache is up here, not in my chest." We've taught John that you should only cross a street at an intersection to be safe. Guess what? You're never allowed to jaywalk with John, because he won't have it. You only cross at intersections, not the middle of the block. Literal understanding is just a part of autism, and we accept that. But people who are inexperienced with autism can easily get frustrated with these things. Take, for example, it's test day in one of his classes at school. The students are told at the beginning of the year that you're not allowed to leave your seat during tests. If you leave your seat, a letter grade will be deducted from your score. Now, during this test, the school conducts a fire drill. Guess who won't leave their seat? And I don't want to put the school faculty down because they try to understand, but they just don't get it. Neurotypical people understand if-when thinking. People with autism often struggle with this. A general statement is true if this doesn't happen, or a general statement is true except when this happens. Simple, right? Not so simple for people who have autism. I'd have to say the most frustrating part is expecting someone with autism to understand neurotypical thinking while a neurotypical person can't understand autistic rationale.
Hey, John, we need to leave early for school this morning. I've got a meeting.
Nope. We have to leave at 7:40. That's what time we're supposed to leave.
But, buddy, I've got a meeting this morning. Hello, boss. I'm going to be late to the meeting today.
That's it for today, Circle. If this message rings true for any of you, then please share it with others. Show your support by hitting that subscribe button. Our literal understanding is that we literally have a goal of getting 1 million subscribers, helping to spread awareness and, well, a better understanding of autism.
Thanks for saying 1 million.
You're welcome, buddy. That's my boy. So on to our question of the week. Tell us about any blunders you made when first learning about autism. Share your answers in the comment section below, and we'll share some of the answers next week. Never forget to live in faith, not in fear, Circle. See you next week. Bye-bye.